17 things you can do to get people to leave their inbox to go to your site. The overall goal of just every email you send is to get a click. This might be a click through to a sales page, a webinar registration page, one of your social media platforms, a partners page, and so on. But ultimately, you're usually looking to get your subscribers to click a link and buy a product. The question is, how do you boost your CTR or click-through rate? That's what you'll find out in here, and check out these 17 surefire ways to improve your CTAs or calls to action and CTRs. Number 1, know your numbers. In order to improve your click-through rate, you need to first understand what a good rate is for your industry. Generally, the range averages from 1% to 5%, and you'll need to do your research to determine what's normal for your market. For example, if your market is known for 4% conversions, but you tend to get 2%, then you know you have some work to do to improve it. Number 2, use a CTA image. A good call to action button or similar image tends to outperform CTA links. That's why you're going to want to insert a button that even skimmers can find easily. For example, a bright orange button will easily stand out against a black and white design. And you might also use the blur test. Squint your eyes or back up from your screen far enough that you can no longer read the words in your email. Question is, can you still recognize the CTA button? If so, then you're on the right track. Big, boldly colored buttons that stand out tend to work well. And as always, you'll want to test the wording on the button and the size and color of the button to find a combination that works for you. Number 3, choose your CTA wording carefully. Whether your CTA is a button preferable or a link, you need to choose your wording carefully. You want to use active language that gets people excited about what they're going to get. For example, click here tells people what to do, but overall it's pretty ineffective. Now, here are other ways to word your CTA link or button with a couple examples in different niches. Click here to start your business. Get your free copywriting consultation now. Join the net's best home selling group now. Start slimming down now and click here to get started. Next, give people a good reason to act. One key to crafting a good CTA is that you need to give people a good reason to take action. As mentioned, simply asking people to click here is not very effective. Instead, you need to give them a good reason, which should appear very near your CTA link or button. For example, get started now because you deserve every edge you can get in this business. Another example, if you do nothing, you will wake up tomorrow in the same place, overweight and unhappy. You deserve to be healthy and happy, so click here to get started now. Next up, encourage people to act now. As you just discovered, you need to give people a good reason to act. Even better is if you can give them a good reason to act right now. Now, before we go any further, let me be clear. Don't use any sort of false scarcity or urgency tactics. Don't try to scare people or evoke another negative emotion. Instead, if you have a legitimate reason for encouraging people to act now, then share that reason. For example, this special $50 discount ends in just 72 hours, so order now to avoid missing out. Another example, Become a chart member and lock in a 40% discount off the regular membership price. But heads up, this offer is only available to the first 150 people who join now. So, click here to get started. Here's the next idea. Send offers people want. Now, this is such a simple way to boost your conversion rates. Give people what they want. Send them relevant, targeted, and in-demand offers and content. If you're not sure what people want, then take these 3 steps. Do research to find out what people are already buying. Let's suppose you're in a weight loss niche. If you search ClickBank for weight loss and notice that get rid of belly fat products sell really well in your niche, that's one of the best predictors of whether your audience will buy that particular kind of product. See what's popular elsewhere. For example, take note of what sort of content and solutions always get a lot of traction on your blog and social media pages. Ask your audience. Survey them to find out what they want, but keep in mind that what they say and what they do may be 2 different things. So, always use this in combination with step 1. Next, insert relevant images. Maybe. Many people who've tested it all confirm the same thing. If you insert relevant, compelling image into your emails, your click-through rate goes up. But, and it's a big but, it's going to depend on how many images you insert. MailChimp did a study where they examined the results of billions of emails. They found that 0 images tended to outperform emails that had up to 10 images inserted in them. However, when emails included 11 or more images, they outperformed the emails with 0 images by a wide margin. So will this work for you? Only way to find and know for sure is to just test it out. Just be sure you are using professional, polished images that are oriented towards the text or the CTA button. For example, if you have a smiling face that's looking slightly to the right, then insert the image to the left of the text. That way, the person appears to be looking towards the text, which in turn will draw prospects' eyes towards the text as well. Remove distractions. When someone opens your email, you want them to have a singular focus, clicking on your link. Now, to get to that point, they need to read your content from top to bottom. Simple, right? It is. But it's also easy for readers to get distracted. That's why you want to make sure your emails are clean. Remove distractions in them, such as contact info and links that may appear in your header. Think of it this way. The only 2 ways to exit your email should be 1, by hitting the back or close button on their email client, which you hope they don't do, and number 2, clicking on your link. To that end, be sure there is nothing else to click on or distract the reader. Number 9. Use a single column layout. You may like the idea of a 2-column layout in a newsletter because it looks newsy. However, if your goal is to get your readers to take action, then a single column layout is preferable. The reason is simple. A single column layout focuses the reader, and they have to read from top to bottom as there is no other way to do it. That makes it more likely they'll read your content in the order you intended, which will increase their desire and get them clicking on your link. Number 10. Offer long links. As I mentioned earlier, CTA buttons are preferable. However, if you need to use a link, then use at least a half-dozen words as the anchor text. As I mentioned earlier, CTA buttons are preferable. However, if you need to use a link, then use at least a half-dozen words as the anchor text. This is much preferable to using a 2 or 3 word CTA link. Here's why. Your users can spot the link more easily when it's longer. Mobile users can more easily click on longer links. And longer CTAs give you a chance to tell people why they should act now. So altogether, these reasons add up to a better click-through rate. Number 11, insert directional graphics. Now, part of boosting your click-through rate is making sure the CTA button is easy to see. That's why inserting graphical arrows that point at the button tend to boost conversions. Your prospect's eyes will naturally look in the direction the arrow is pointing, which will make them take notice of the CTA button and then the text immediately around it. Number 12. Place CTAs to the right. In many cases, your CTA button is going to be in the middle of a single column design, usually near the bottom of the page. However, if you insert multiple CTA buttons in your text, which is a good idea provided the call to action are for the same thing, then you might offset one of the buttons. Now, if you do this, then be sure the CTA button is to the right of the text. Here's why. People read from left to right. So the most natural place to put the button is to the right, which prospects will see after they've read the text. Conversely, if you put the button to the left, people need to backtrack with their eyes to get back to the left side of the screen. That's unnatural. Now, it's a simple thing, but it will impact your conversions. Number 13, increase conversions with a series. Now, if you send out a single email that's known to convert well, you will get some clicks and sales. But if you want to further boost conversions, then it's a good idea to send out a series of emails all promoting the same thing. For example, you might send out a short series that looks like this. Email 1, pre-sale email that lists the benefits of the offer. Email 2, objection handling. Inside this email, you raise and handle objections. For example, if you're selling something expensive, then you might focus on justifying the price. Or if an objection is it won't work, then you focus on the guarantee. Email 3, proof. Now, this email provides proof of your claims, such as offering case studies, testimonials, videos, screenshots, newspaper clippings, or similar. Email 4, last chance. Now, if you were offering some sort of discount or bonus, which you would mention in all the previous emails, you might send out one more email informing people it's their last chance to take advantage of the special. Now, an email series will almost always boost your conversions over a single email. Next up, boost response with social sharing. Another way to boost your click-through rate is to encourage your prospects to share the content with their friends. Now, you can make this easy by inserting social sharing buttons. Now, this works to boost response because people are naturally more open to an offer when their friends recommend it to them versus when the offer is an advertisement from a marketer. Now, take note, just create a separate email apart from your promo series that encourages people to share. That way, you are not diluting your responses by presenting 2 calls to action, one to buy and one to share. You can also put a social share button on the order confirmation page in much the same way that Amazon encourages you to share that you just purchased the product. Next up, prioritize quality. One of the big keys to high conversions is to consistently send high quality information to your subscribers. Over time, people will open your emails because it's from you, and they'll click on your links because they trust your recommendations. To that end, be sure you're 100% focused on helping your subscribers. Number 16, analyze your numbers. Now, if your conversions are low, then you need to look at your numbers before you can fix the problem. For example, maybe your conversions are low because your open rate is low, in which case you need to first do things to boost opens, such as tweaking your subject lines. Last but not the least, limit campaigns. Now, if you're pushing different promotions multiple times per week, your subscribers may get promo fatigue. Plus, if you are insisting every new product out there is the best thing ever, your prospects are going to start realizing that you're just promoting everything. The solution? Limit your campaigns typically to around one per week. And watch your conversions and your unsubscribe numbers to get an idea of how effective your campaigns are. But keep in mind, unsubscribes aren't always a bad thing, as when untargeted people weed themselves out, you end up with a more responsive list. Now, at the end of the day, the name of the game is to get clicks and sales when you send out emails. That's why you'll want to use the 17 tips and strategies that you just learned about for improving your CTA and CTR.